That's the table you choose to use, huh?
Yep.
You just bought that phone.
It keeps the salt in where it needs to be.
The phone is where it needs to be?
Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Brink. You're never gonna believe it. Curtis is back.
I'm back.
Hello. Don't sound so thrilled. He asked to come out here today. I didn't beg him to come out. He came out.
I did.
But he still has not get that nitrous bottle filled. It's only been 3 months or so.
3 months.
So I guess we're working on my truck today.
Yeah.
And it's still cold here. What's it, like 30 degrees today?
Yeah, it was snowing on the way over.
Yeah, it's not fun. So we're not gonna be out on the road, but we're gonna just kind of tighten some things up, I think. In the last video, I told you guys that these boots kept blowing off when we were driving it because that doesn't belong there. And then this has like a radiator hose clamp on it that's not accurate. So we got new boots. All right, this guy and this guy. Shoot. And then we're going to bead roll the ends of the intercooler piping, right? I got this sweet bead roller here. It's not really that expensive. I think I got this off Amazon for like 60 bucks. Actually, it was a Christmas gift. There we go. Pretty simple. Set it in a vise, nothing fancy. So we'll take all these connections off here. Here. There's like 10 of them. And then put a bead on each side and then put them back together. And between the beads and those new boots, I think it'll help that situation out. And then we also need to clean some things up with the exhaust. So I bought this super awesome puzzle piece here. This is, I think, 175 tubing, stainless steel. And Kurt's gonna figure it out because he does math. I don't do math.
We're gonna try to do math.
Geometry is a type of math.
It is. It is.
So
I passed
basically,
it in school too.
You did pass it?
I did pass it in school.
That's good. So this is basically a puzzle piece that we have to disassemble and reassemble to make work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the wastegate. So it needs to come out of here, come up, and I want it next to this one, and we're gonna put it here and make this hole oh shoot. I'm gonna put it here and make this hole uglier. And then I want to try and make it prettier all at the same time. We'll get into that later. But I think we got some hoses that need moved because I don't want them to have holes in them.
Melting hoses is not good.
You only want 2 holes in hoses at the beginning and the end.
Yep.
Nowhere in the middle.
Nope.
No. So I guess we're gonna start cutting some pipe. We only really get 1-ish chance on this. Like that puzzle piece pipe was not cheap. So hopefully we can get this figured out and not have to buy another one. That's all I have. All right, we moved the hoses out of the way a little bit. I just cut them free from where they were at, and we can only build this pipe kind of one way. So we're just gonna build it, and if I gotta reroute them later, I'll reroute them later. This truck ain't going nowhere anytime soon. So what's the plan, mathematician?
Well, I got a line drawn here. I'm gonna cut on that line and then try to see what it looks like, see if I like the position. Then we're gonna weld on the, what's that thing called?
V-band clamp?
V-band clamp, there we go. And then cut it here, cut the pipe here, weld that onto here, and then use this bend to go up next to the exhaust. That is the entire plan. It's gonna be trial and air. Hopefully not a lot of air, because we only got one of these.
How many errors do we get?
Depends on how much metal I take off when I cut.
Well, you're cutting this in the center of this U, so I don't know how many more takes we'll get on the U bend, and I feel like the U bend is pretty important.
Well, I'm cutting it further this way. I'm making sure that I don't cut too much, because then that'll bring the pipe out this way, and I don't want to do that.
Let's go cut some metal.
Let's cut some metal.
Okay.
It is. Oh, that is way out there, Dylan. That is, every pipe is in the way. Every single pipe.
You trying to say hose right now?
Hose, whatever. Yeah. That's probably not too bad.
What if you take it out further and have it come up through here?
I don't like any of these options. We do not want the holes in the fuel lines either.
No, we definitely don't want holes in the fuel
We
lines.
don't want holes in fuel lines. That is running right next to it. I need to turn it this way a little bit. I don't have to, but looks something like that right there. Now if I cut more off, it's going to bring it more straight up and down.
I hate figuring this kind of stuff out. Okay, so the pipe is too far away now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
We need to suck it in closer to the wastegate. And when we want to cut this in half effectively, right? To get it closer to the wastegate. But if you were to cut this bend at a straight line, what happens, Curtis?
It makes an oval.
Makes an oval, and then we can't weld it onto the V-band anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I found my angle finder there. Curtis set it on the top of the wastegate, and it's at 30 degrees. So he put this on it and found 30 degrees. We're gonna cut it at an angle and try that. You're gonna do this about 43 times?
Oh, at least.
This is, let's tell ourselves that this is the hardest piece to make. After this, it'll go easy, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. First piece is always the hardest.
Yeah, this is definitely the hardest piece, and then it'll just be smooth sailing. It'll melt together like butter. We'll turn into professional welders.
Oh yeah,
And
perfect beads.
It'll look like it came out of West Coast Customs.
No bubble gum. Where are we at? 30? You got the marker?
I got one in my pocket.
You have one? Okay. Alright. I'm afraid we're gonna cut too much off. Okay, let me see. Alright, so take that at 30.
That's what you call professional. I think that's how the pros do it.
I don't think so.
I think that's how it's done.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure. Still fit?
No.
How off is it? Jesus. Well, that cut was terrible.
Yeah, I felt it pulling and I was worried I was going to cut my finger off. Let me go clean it up. So let's get it cleaned up some.
All right, you want to explain what's going on now, Curtis?
Well, since we cut it at an angle, now we have an egg shape.
Which, wasn't that what we were doing? We cut it at an angle to avoid that, though. Right, that was the whole purpose of cutting it at an angle, was to avoid that.
The whole purpose of cutting an angle was to get it closer.
That's not what we said when we were filming last.
Well, then I don't know who said that. They said it wrong.
You...
No. We can check the video.
I'll insert the clip here.
Okay, obviously.
But if you were to cut this bend at a straight line, what happens, Curtis?
It makes an oval.
Makes an oval, and then we can't weld it onto the V-band anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what are you doing now to fix this?
I'm gonna try to bend this a little bit so it fits in this.
Show me where the gap's at now.
The gap is, it's just, there's no gap. I mean, it would work the way it is, but it's not gonna fit inside that inside the ring. It's not bigger than it, than the outside. I'm just trying to make it a little better. We'll see what happens.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pound it on this ball hitch and try to make it round again. I don't know if it's working.
I mean, you're basically a blacksmith at this point.
Is that what I am? I don't think it's doing anything.
That's stainless.
I think it made a little difference.
Are you happy with the difference it made?
No, I'm not. No, that's not working. You can turn it off now.
Can I?
Yeah, you can turn it off.
Well, I think this is good entertainment.
I do not think it is. Why are you recording again?
Because I think it's funny.
Why
What are
do
we
you-
on stage 2 now? It's a piece of black pipe, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Is it moving in the right direction?
yeah, I think we can take that.
Curtis the blacksmith. If you need a shoe or a horseshoe or a sword made, what else do blacksmiths do?
Anything with steel.
Curtis is not impressed. This is Mr. Everything's footage doesn't like the camera being on him all of a sudden. So I don't know what's going on with that. I understand that this is not the correct way that you should be doing this, but this is the way we're doing it. Gas. Curtis moved from blacksmith to welder. Professional TIG. My man. All right, we're on cut 2. What happens now, Curtis?
Well, now we're gonna try to cut this at a 45. So I'm line the blade up, or line the saw up with the tiles, and now I'm trying to line this up with over here at this one, so it's straight.
The saw is on this tile line, and you're trying to get this metal or this pipe on the center of or the center of this on the center of that line.
Well, no, I'm just trying to make sure it's lined. I'm still eyeballing it. Just
Because this is a 45-degree angle.
yes.
So if this is straight with this blade, we should effectively cut this at a 45-degree angle.
Yes.
Correct. That's
should.
That's the running theory here.
That's the running theory. We'll see if it's true or not. All right, let's check it.
That's how you're gonna hold it.
What? 44?
44, 43.9. I think that's pretty good for, you know, just eyeballing.
Eyeballing it? Yeah, that's pretty close.
I'm pretty impressed, to be completely honest.
I'm gonna go clean it up a little bit on the belt sander. All right.
All right, so Curtis got this figured out. I'm super proud of him. Are you proud of yourself?
I hope so. We'll see when it's all together.
This is the next piece here. We got them marked so we know how to put them together. And then the final piece is out there, which will need some lapping off. But I think it's coming together. We just got to figure out how to tack this together and hold it in place all at the same time. So, hooray. Taking precise measurements here, you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and hack this up a bit. We'll see what happens here. Let me do that.
What are you doing?
Something's on fire.
I think it's the paint melting.
I think that might do it. Find out.
And now we're gonna test fit.
Huh. Jeez. It's like I know what I'm doing almost.
Like perfect.
Man. That's not even like hacked up that much or anything. That is beautiful.
You proud of yourself there?
I am kind of proud of myself.
It's good. Now for the ring around it.
We'll just build, so the plan is I'll build a template out of cardboard. We'll set the cardboard over this. Well, yeah, we'll do it. We'll set the cardboard over this, get an impression, cut that out, and then put it on here. We may have to play with it because of the angle a little bit, right, to get those holes right. But it'll tighten this hole up. You won't see any of this from the outside, at least. And then I'll rivet it in, probably paint it gold and use black rivets. And you'll think it's really cool until you watch this video and you're like, those guys suck. But that's okay. Success. All right, just like that, screamer pipe's welded up. Like I said, Kurt and I aren't good enough welders to trust ourselves doing that, so I had a buddy do that for me. It's many, many days later since when you just seen us 2 seconds ago. So that's done. Now it's time to make the template for the trim ring for the exhaust setup, right? So, this shut. We've got to cover up this ugliness here. That looks terrible. And although I don't necessarily care so much about, I guess maybe I do care about aesthetics. I don't care about rust and stuff. That just is shoddy workmanship. But we can't let that fly. So, what we did, take a piece of cardboard, come on back over here. And what I did, I just put a piece of cardboard on this, pressed it down really hard all the way around everything. Like that. See, got an imprint. Trace it with a marker, cut it out. Highly recommend cutting big because trimming cardboard is not fun. So after that, I did all of this. Yes, so I did enlist the help of Thomas, like I said I was going to, because my first idea was this. Not good. So then we started playing around with it, started getting a little more precise. Oh, that's a good looking one there. That would be the full piece, I believe, is what we got going on there. We got one here. Then we started drawing them out. I think Thomas did this with his fingers to make these perfect. And then we discovered we could make our very own compass. Screw in the table, wire, marker goes in this end, Perfect circle, right? Ingenious. Pretty proud of that one. So after, I don't know, several hours and a whole bunch of different variations, this is what we got. Huh? Looks pretty good, huh? Don't mind the circles. Those are just to like, these are the rivets. That's not where they're going to end up being, but we just wanted to see it. Came out pretty happy with this. Kind of looks like an avocado, but that's what it is. And then, thank goodness for good friends. Jeez. Buddy cut me that out. It's pretty thick. It's like 3/16 or something. But I think that'll work. Let's go over here. Kind of had this lined up once already. It's gonna be something like that. Not perfect. These holes aren't going to be perfect because the hood moves, right? It hinges, so the gaps aren't going to be good, but who cares? Yeah, so pretty much drill holes, paint it, rivet. I've already played around with the rivet gun because you're never going to believe this. I've never set a rivet before. It's turned to be quite a pain. Had to figure out which was the appropriate drill bit to use. And then once I got that figured out, after about 3 renditions of drill bits, I put my first rivet in a test piece just to see what it would do. And the piece of the rivet that breaks off, you know, it's supposed to just fall out of the gun, stuck. Had to tear the whole gun apart, and now it's broken. I'm not gonna be able to get it put back together. So that sucks. Probably have to buy a new rivet gun. But I am gonna have to trim. I'm gonna have to trim a little bit of this yet. So I'm gonna figure out what exactly needs cut out of there, trim that, shoot a coat of paint on that, and then I will drill the holes. I think this is where I'm gonna put them. I'm not happy with the rivets I got either. I'd like bigger ones. I don't have big enough ones. But I'll drill the holes, trim that hood to fit, clean the mill scale, get a shot of paint going, and then go buy a whole nother rivet gun because the one I bought off Amazon, I broke. We'll go from there. All right, we're back. Some things got accomplished. That's basically how the professionals tape off, right? I just need to paint in here to get so that doesn't rust more than it already has begun. I'll probably put a blanket up here in an engine bay and lift the hood, I think. That feels like the right move, and we'll call it good. I've got some stuff from the hardware, Ace. It says rust stop on it. They couldn't put it on there if it wasn't true. That's like a white trash law. You guys remember that? What was that, like the 80s or something? I got the holes drilled on the actual trim ring. You guys want to see my super awesome wintertime paint booth? It's also known as the shop bathroom. It has its own heating source. Don't mind the filth, it's a shop. But here it is. I got like 2 coats of self-etching on here now. And then we'll switch to black. And then we'll switch to gold. It gets pretty fumey in there pretty quick. I can only do a small part at a time. Get out. Let it clear out. And then move on to the next coat. So, I'm gonna paint this hood. Probably throw a coat of black on that. And then we're heading to town for a second rivet gun because I broke the first one I had. And then we'll move on to gold and see if we can get some rivets on. Okay, we got paint drying. Looks wonderful, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Whatever, it's good enough. So I went and got a new rivet gun. Tested it already, and you're never gonna believe it. First one worked. Didn't even break the tool. While I was out, if you guys remember, my, if you've been following along, I should say, my tensioner was starting to act up, giving me a lot of squeals. It sounded like trash. Really, I didn't need a whole tensioner. It was just the bearing in here, I think. I ran it for a while. I would touch this bolt. This was hot compared to the rest. So the part shop, when I went to get one months ago, wanted like 80 bucks for it, and they didn't even have it in stock. So I said, no thanks. I got one off the internet, probably from China or who knows where. And when it showed up, this was busted. You see that? Broken. So that's no good. So while I was out getting the rivet gun, I got a new pulley, just the bearings inside there, right? So I got that put on. Boom. And that right there is exactly why you don't paint your engine. I don't know why I did that. Just being extra because it was out. It's just dumb. Now it looks stupid because I got a part on there with no paint on it. I'm not gonna paint it. I don't care. I got better things to do. So I probably won't be painting a whole lot of engines in the future. At least not aluminum stuff. That's dumb. But while we got paint drying, I told you we were gonna do some bead rolling. So let's see if we can get that done. I've already done a whole bunch of this. Actually, Kurt did most of it. This piece will be interesting because it's not completely flat, right? So it might not go super great. And I had to take the blow off valve off. Let's see what happens here. I don't think it's tight enough yet. Uh-oh, getting a little out of whack here. Shoot. It's coming off the... What's just gonna happen? I don't know how to stop it. It's walking right off. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but there's a bead on it. So, good enough. So there's not much sticking out there, much sticking out there. That's the way it goes, but that's a nice looking bead. Done. Okay, parts are painted. Check it out. Boom. Started putting it together. Figured we'd show you guys what we're doing. Thomas's brainchild.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It was a combined effort.
It was.
Rivet. Boom.
Rivet.
Rivet. You're an idiot. Yay.
Tell them the key to not scratching it.
Lift up on the last pull. That's what I do. Like lift it up. It's ready to go.
Beautiful.
Oh God, it's doing the thing. There it went, got it. Rivet gun number 2 of the day so far is a success. But that's all there is to it. We put the first one in. We drilled this hole from where I had it marked earlier and then laid it down and put the first rivet in. And then I'm just using the template or the trim ring itself as a template to drill the remaining holes. That's all there is to it. All right, there it is, all done. riveted on. Now nobody gets to talk about my chewed up hood anymore. So we got the trim ring made, painted, installed. Screamer pipe got built and finished welded in this video, and then installed. We bead rolled all the intercooler piping, and you guys aren't gonna believe this, but Thomas and I washed this whole thing. Can you tell? It is slick. Look at that, you can actually see the color of the roof. We washed it all by hand with buckets and then waxed it. Did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Yeah. So we did that because we got something coming up in like 2 days. Hopefully it'll be the next video on this truck. We'll see. I'm not in control of everything that's happening. It's hilarious and pretty cool, I think. So if it does happen, I want to take you guys along for the ride. But that's it for this time. Till next time, see you guys in the future.